Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Today in this video, we are going to see about habits. So, habit is redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that's acquired through repetition. A habit is when you've done something so many times that your body now knows how to do it better than your mind. Look, people wake up in the morning, they begin to think about their problems. Those problems are circular memory in the brain. Each one of those memories are connected to the people and things at a certain time and place. And if the brain is a record of the past, the moment they start the day, they're already thinking in the past. Each one of those memories has an emotions. Emotions are the end product of the past experience. So the moment they recall those memories of their problem, they all of a sudden feel unhappy, they feel sad, they feel pain. Now, how you think and how you feel create a state of being. So the person's entire state of being when they start their day is in the past. So what does that mean? The family and past will sooner or later be predictable future. So, if you believe that your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, and you can't think greater than how you feel, or feeling have become the means of thinking. By every definition of self-emotion, you are thinking in the past. And for the most part, you're gonna keep creating the same life. So then people grab their cell phone, they check their WhatsApp, they check their text, they check their email, they check Facebook, they take a picture of their feed, they post it on Facebook, they tweet something, they do Instagram, they check the news, and now they feel really connected to everything that's known in their life. And then they go through a series of written behavior. They get out of bed on the same side, they go in the toilet, they get a cup of coffee, they take a shower, they get dressed, they drive to work the same way, they do the same thing, they see the same people, they push the same emotional button, and that becomes a routine and it becomes like a program. So now they have loaded their free will to a program, and there is no unseen hand doing it to them. So when it comes time to change, the redundancy of that cycle becomes a subconscious program. So now 95% of who we are by the time we are 35 years old. It's a memorized set of behaviors, emotional reactions, unconscious habit, hardwired attitude, beliefs and perception that function like a computer program. So the person can say with their 5% of their conscious mind, I want to be healthy, I want to be happy, I want to be free. But the body on the whole different program. So then how do you begin to make those change? Well, you have to get beyond the analytical mind. Because what separates conscious mind from the subconscious mind is analytical mind. And that's where meditation comes, because you can teach people through practice how to change their brainwave, slow them down. And when they do that properly, they do enter the operating system where they can begin to make some really important change. So most people, they wait for a crisis or trauma or disease or diagnosis. They wait for lose some tragedy to make up their mind to change. And my message is, why wait? And you can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering, or you can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration. The stronger the emotional reaction you have to some experience in your life, the higher the emotional occlusion. The more you pay attention to the cause, the moment the brain pulls off its attention on the cause, it takes a snapshot, and that's called a memory. So long-term memory are created from very highly emotional experience. So what happened then is that people think neurologically within the circuitry of their experience, and they feel chemically with the boundary of those emotions. And so when you have an emotional reaction to someone or something, most people think that they can control their emotional reaction. Well, it turns out if you allow that emotional reaction, it's called a refractory period. To last for hours or day, that's called a mood. And I say to someone, hey, well, what's up? And you say, I'm in a mood. Well, why are you in the mood? Well, I had this thing happen to me 5 days ago, and I'm having one long emotional reaction. If you keep that same emotional reaction going on for weeks or months, that's called temperament. Why are you so bitter? I don't know, let's ask him. Why are you so bitter? Why are you bitter? Well, I had this thing happen to me 9 months ago. And if you keep that same emotional reaction going on for years on end, that's called the personality trait. And so learning how to shorten your refractory period of emotional reaction is really where the work starts. So then people, when they have an event, what they do is they keep recalling the event. Because the emotion of stress hormones, the survival emotions are saying pay attention to what happened. because you want to be prepared if it happens again. Turns out most people spend 70% of their life living in survival and living in stress, so they're always anticipating the worst case scenario based on the past experience, and they are literally out of infinity potential in the quantum field. They are selecting the worst possible outcome and they are beginning to emotionally embrace it with fear, and they are conditioning their body into the state of fear. Do that enough time, body has a panic attack without you. You can't even predict it because it's programmed subconsciously. So then you say to the person, why are you this way? And they will say, I'm this way because of this event that happened to me 15 or 20 years ago. And what that means from biological standpoint is that they haven't been able to change since that event. So then the emotion from the experience tend to give the body and the brain a rush of energy. So people become addicted to the rush of those emotions, and they use their problems and conditioning in their life to reframe their limitation, so at least they can feel something. So now when it comes time to change, you say to the person, why are you this way? Well, every time they recall the event, they are producing the same chemistry in their brain, and the body of the event is occurring, firing and wiring the same circuitry and sending the same emotional signature to the body. Well, what's the relevance behind that? Well, your body is unconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between the experience that's creating the emotions and the emotion that you're creating by thought alone. So the body believing is living in the same past experience 24 hours a day, 70 days a week, 365 days a year. And so then when those emotions influence certain thoughts, and they do, and those thoughts create the same emotions, and those same emotions influence the same thought, now the entire person's state of being is in the past. So then the hardest part about change is not making the same choice you did the day before. The moment you decide to make a different choice, get ready, because that's going to feel uncomfortable. The bigger thing is that we keep firing and wiring those circuitry. They become more hardwired, so they are. And you have a thought and then the program runs. But the emotion that follows the thought, if you have a fearful thought, you're gonna feel anxiety. The moment you feel anxiety, your brain checking with your body and saying, hey, you're breathing anxious. So then you start thinking more corresponding thought equal to how you feel, where the redundancy of that cycle conditioning the body to become the mind. So now when it comes time to change, person step into that river of change and they make a different choice, and all of the sudden they don't feel the same way. So the body say, well, you've been doing this for 35 years, you're gonna just stop suffering and stop feeling guilty and stop feeling shameful, and you're not gonna complain or blame or make excuse or feel sorry for yourself. The body is an unknown. So the body say, I wanna return back to family and territory. So the body start influencing the mind, and it says, start tomorrow, too much like your mother, you never change, this isn't gonna work for you, it doesn't feel right. And so if you respond to that thought as if true, that same thought will lead you to the same choice, which will lead the same behavior, which will create the same experience, which will produce the same emotions.